And welcome into Cleveland Guardians discussion on this Thursday morning. And of course, we have Bobby DiBiasio with the Guardians with us today. And as we do on Thursdays, between you and Rosie, man, I'll tell you, Rosie's got this kind of a superstition about Thursday day games. And he and I, we got to make sure we get the victories on the Thursdays. But it almost took you into the next day with last week's Thursday game, right?
I'll tell you, this last homestand, our friend Curtis Danberg, our VP of Communications, Community Impact, one of his other roles is rain delay guy. He's the one who has to sit with on the phone with MLB, on the phone with local weather, on the phone with the GMs of both teams, the manager of both teams, the head groundskeeper Brandon Kinky, and boy, he had double duty that last homestand. Every game seemed so long and a lot of rain delays, but we got him in. We played well. We went on the road, won 4 out of 6, which was terrific. And the rest of this month of May, Pam, is going to be so much fun. You got the Phillies coming in and the Brewers. Then we go on the road. This next road trip, 10 days, 10 games. We go to Cincy, Minnesota, then 4 at Detroit. That's going to be an awesome 4-game series early in the season, the 2 top teams in our division. And then Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts come to town at the end of the month, and then the Angels. So a lot of fun going on in the month of May.
And Mother Nature seems to be very kind for this upcoming weekend. So we're glad about that.
Yeah, shockingly, we see that little sunshine on the weather app at not 75% of rain. But, yeah, we look forward to great weather and a great homestand, which includes Sunday night. We're on ESPN Sunday night against the Phillies. So that'll be great.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about the team. What have your observations been on the offense coming back? Here we are. We're they're generating a lot of runs now.
Well, for one player, the calendar got out of April, so Carlos Santana heats up. It's just so amazing, his career, and set your watch to it that when the calendar turns, that you get out of that cooler month of April, that all of a sudden Carlos heats up. Had a great game yesterday. You look at our ball club, and we talked about it our first meeting. Young players had to step up. That was one of the top 2 priorities. So when you see Daniel Schneemann doing the things he's been able to do, Gabriel Arias doing the things that he's been able to do, Kyle Manzardo leads the team in homers and ribbies. That's, again, one of the reasons we sit here at 22-15 and one of the top records in the American League. Philly comes in, I think, at 21-15. So I think they're just a few games behind the Mets in the AL East, one of the National League powerhouses. So this is going to be a fun 3-game series. But our club is doing what it needs to do. Our starting pitching is rounding into form. Even despite a couple hiccups in the bullpen, it's still been strong. And then the young players are rising to the occasion.
Yeah, it seems like it's settled down, and that's kind of a natural thing, like you said, moving from April into May and getting the better weather and just, getting past all that stuff that April throws at you.
Exactly. Yeah, it was long days at the ballpark this last homestand, our longest homestand, 10 gamers. So we don't have any more of those 10-game homestands the rest of the year. But just to reiterate, this month of May is going to be really fun. There's some, high-powered teams coming to town. We go on the road to see Tito and Cincy over a weekend, and then division rivals in Minnesota and 4 at Detroit. It's going to be real fun.
Yeah, and get to the ballpark this weekend. It's going to be very nice, but also think about the travel possibilities of Cincinnati and Detroit, right?
Yeah, and that's, You know, when they talk about, Pam, in this game of baseball of ours, the concept of when they expand to 32 teams, there's talk about, okay, then would we have 8 4-team divisions? And that might obviously mean that there's no American League, no National League, which I'm not so sure is a strong concept as it obviously was a decade or two ago. But the 4 would be Detroit, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I think. And if that actually comes to pass in some time frame, who knows? That would be awfully cool, because that's exactly it. People all summer long would be driving to each other's cities and taking in ball games and spending money in each other's cities. It would be pretty cool. Now, the exercise, if anybody's out there listening that is a baseball nut, pick 2 cities, and I'll throw 2 at you. I'll throw Nashville and Salt Lake. I know nothing. I'm just throwing them out there because I have no knowledge. I want to make sure that is known. And then sit with a legal pad and try to figure out how you do 8 4-team divisions. What do you do with the Mets and Yankees? And what do you do with Chicago and St. Louis and the White Sox? It's not an easy exercise, but it's really fun. So, give it a try. It's I've asked a bunch of my baseball friends to do it, and they've come up with stuff all over the board. So, and you got to remember, Las Vegas is in there because that's where the Oakland team will end up. The Athletics will end up in Vegas. So, but a lot of traveling. Hopefully, a lot of Guardians fans in Detroit and Cincinnati coming up on our road trip. But before you do that, get to the ballpark as we play both the Phillies and the Brewers here coming up.
Yep, get there. It's going to be some good weather and should be lots of fun. Always good to talk to you, Bob. I'll check in with you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you, Pam. You take care. Go Guardians.
Not everyone who handles your personal